Yeah, very happy to welcome back to the show Representative Lateefah Simon, a Democrat representing California's 12th District, serves on the House Oversight Committee and House Committee on Small Business. Representative Simon, so nice to see you. Thanks so much for making time. I know it's busy. Things
Yeah.
are just every day, every moment. It's like breaking news. It's winding me. But so let's start with the upsetting news that continues to play out. And that's what happened in Minnesota with Renee Good and the ICE agent killing her, and the continuing debate that we have over this, and the right smearing Renee Good as a terrorist. I've never seen this. This is awful.
Well, this is the administration that we have.
Right.
And they have been extremely clear from day one. I remember when Trump was sworn in, he said very clearly, we are going to shock and awe the communities with our deportation effort. And what many of us heard who know when you have someone like that in office, they don't care about civil rights, human rights, they don't care about the Constitution, they don't care about good training. The point is racism, the point is cruelty, the murder of this mother. I'm hoping that we can see what the current and future is of this administration if we don't put a stop to this. What I think is really important, two things. If you dissent, your First Amendment rights aren't guaranteed, that they will kill you. They will kill you. Secondly, this attack on the state and the city is not just about finding undocumented folks who have committed heinous crimes. That's never been the order.
Right.
It's fully about racism. In this case, we're not saying it. This is a direct attack on Black African immigrants. Many of these immigrant folk have children that were raised in this country, that were born in this country. The majority of Somalians in this city are American citizens. So again, they don't use data. They're definitely not telling the truth in terms of who they're attacking and killing this woman. And then within 30 minutes, no investigation. Basically, they became the judge, the jury, and the executioner, not just the police officer who shot her multiple times in the head. The president of these United States, right, went on TV and across the world, convicted her. Again, a mother who leaves behind a partner and not just one child, three children.
And when we see the footage, they literally lie to us. Tricia McLaughlin from Homeland Security, who's a liar, put a statement out saying she rammed the vehicle, used it as a weapon, terrorist. Kristi Noem, same thing, calling her a domestic terrorist. When you look at the footage, all three shots fired by the ICE agent, his feet were on the driver's side already. He was no longer in front of the car when he fired. And the second two shots, it was point blank into her head right there at the side of the car. There's zero defense for that. What do you want to see happen to ICE? Can there be oversight that can change the philosophy? Is it something that has to just be get rid of and start over afresh?
This is the same president who called my city, Oakland, California, too far gone. A city of good people. Of course, there are challenges in any city and any community in this country. I would say ICE is too far gone. ICE is less than a 30-year-old institution. They just hired or will be hiring, if they've met their quota, over 10,000 folks who've received just a teeny bit of training and haven't unleashed them with semi-automatic weapons in our communities. It's an institution that is too far gone. And I think that when we get back the presidency, we have a lot of atoning to do. We know that they're not going to disband ICE in this administration. The best we can do is try to create an institution that provides immigration infrastructure that is fair and that is just, and that our foreign policy equal that, where we're actually creating the conditions, if we want to steer migration, that we're not being a nuisance to the rest of the world and we're supporting the rest of the world, particularly those in great need. So you have the disbandment of USAID coupled with quadrupling times two of the what now are the lethal forces of the INS and of ICE.
What is it on a human level when you speak to people in your district who are in immigrant communities, in the migrant community, and even mixed status homes? I mean, is there a sense of terror?
There's a sense of terror for, I mean, everyone I speak to. I come from a very thoughtful district. Again, they are not a monolith, right, in terms of their politic and their ideology, but this is a district that does stand up to what's right and to stand tall in opposition of what's wrong. So to think that if you are dissenting the government, you could be killed, uh, you could be killed on the street. Folks of mixed status families, American citizens that I'm talking to, elderly folks, and of course, folks who are in the immigration system trying to get their documents, and in that process, they're completely terrified. But it's not just in my district, it's across the country. I believe that this moment that we're in is one that will, in fact, shift the dynamic in this country. We will flip the house and we will lift up our communities under a presidency that will strive to build back what has been torn down. It wasn't perfect. It was not perfect, and even just a year ago, folks on the ground in communities across the country were fighting for peace and justice as well. What we have now is totalitarianism.
I understand. And yeah, it's got to be more than striving to return to the status quo. It has to be a better future in America.
I agree. We're gonna have to build that back from the studs. So we have to dream up a new future. And it should be very clear. The $70 billion that ICE has to play with, or it's a crazy number. The monies that we're spending on, in other countries to attack other countries, we have, almost 10,000 veterans that sleep on our streets every single night, not in cars, right? Not in campers, on the concrete, right? So if we really, really cared about public safety, when we sent our men to go die in wars and they come back, we can't even house them or provide suicide prevention opportunities because we're firing VA staff. The hypocrisy in this administration is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So we have to create a vision to go north. What kind of north do we want? What kind of world do we want to live in?
And that's a great rallying cry, because it's got to be for people better than it was before, much better. So, you mentioned world wars and events beyond our borders. A little over a week ago, Donald Trump kidnapped the leader of Venezuela without any congressional approval, did a military action there, installed someone who will play ball with him, who's now going to give him oil that he's going to be able to personally, if he gets his way, deal with the proceeds. I can't believe this is the United States of America. I mean, it's got to be stunning. This is beyond words to see what he did.
I mean, I sit here with a flag right in back of me, and the reason why I come to work every single day is because there was a promise given to Americans, right? That we would continue to work harder to get to that promise that was given to all of us. And we're so far away from that. The fact that, the Republicans have completely given away our rights. They're in the majority, our rights, but also, I mean, as Congress. And they have ripped open the Constitution to say that the president just gets to do what they want. They're capitulating every single day, saying that, we should spend money on wars, but we can't feed our elderly. We're cutting SNAP. And, the reality is we should know that, the president of Venezuela is a horrible man. He's awful. And there are a lot of awful leaders in the globe, and we're not coming in, flying in and taking them out and then taking and seizing their assets. This is about land. It's about colonialism. It's about oil. The cool thing, I'm saying cool as a pun, if the president tells the truth. He ain't lying. He's saying, I'm a colonialist. I want the oil. You don't have to go beneath and analyze what he's saying and, get a special briefing. You can see it plain and simple. They're not lying to you in the sense that evil is on the table. Colonialism is on the table. Murder for hire is on the table. The stepping on the Constitution is on the table. And that the Republicans in both the House and the Senate, they're too scared to push back. And so they will go along with pretty much whatever the president has to say. That's against everything that the founders of this country could have anticipated for. They wrote documents so that these kinds of things did not happen.
When you talk to Republicans in the House, are they not ashamed? I mean, they ran for office, they raised money, and then they do nothing. They just do Trump's bidding. They literally, I mean, there's a couple around the edges, but I don't define the party by the handful of good ones. I define it by the rest of those people who, whatever Trump says, they're fine with. One day it could be he can flip flop on issues. Nothing. Do they have no ideology, no backbone, no reason for being there? Why be there? Just
Well,
go
I,
home.
I will say this, when we get a Democratic president, I know if I get to the point where I'm sacrificing my values, my morals, my faith, and that you take care of the sick and the widow and the elderly and the children, the orphan, if I'm sacrificing my obligation to peace for the love of the president, that's when I go home. And I'm hoping some of these folks uh, will pray a little bit harder and listen to what comes back. Uh, there is no space in this United States Congress for folks to go along with evil just because they're nervous about their next election. I don't know what they're thinking, but again, I think folks should have a day with their Lord and to understand what's at stake here. And it's the sanctity of this country, it's democracy, and people all over the world if they continue to follow this man.
And Representative Lateefah Simon, and Donald Trump's not done with his military wish list. He just keeps talking about Greenland over and over and over, like it's stuck in his brain. And they keep saying, if we don't take it, China or Russia are going to take it, which makes no sense because they're part of NATO. So if China or Russia attacked Greenland, we'd be defending them. And again, I mean, does it make any sense to you? Is the goal just destroy NATO to make Putin happy? Are there some kind of resources and minerals there? Is there beachfront property that Trump could build hotels and casinos on? I mean, what is going on with Greenland?
Some like Monroe document stuff. It's like we're in a crazy sci-fi realistic movie. And I chuckle because it's unfortunately this feels American. Let's not forget that. Folks are saying, oh, this is not the America that I know. Huh, it is. It's the America that we know. If we just look a little bit, I'll challenge you. If you just look a bit far back, if you look at the millions of people, the genocide on Native American communities, chattel slavery, the horrific manipulation of people's bodies to create an economy in the American South, the Japanese internment, it came from an executive order, and folks weren't angry enough until they got angry enough. And so the history and now the current we can call it a crisis, but in many ways this is a reoccurrence of the American trajectory and its colonialism and its believing that some are human and others are not. And I think, my service in this place is to remind myself and to remind others that we cannot make this normal. And that we can also be reactionary. When we take back the House and we gain the presidency, we're going to have to push our president to be the moral president because we have a lot of cleaning up to do and again, a lot of vision to set forward for the betterment of all of us.
And I hope that if Democrats win the House and the Senate and the White House in 2028, that there's laws that are passed.
We do something.
Right?
One of the things that we can learn from the Republicans, they don't care. They are going to move forth their agenda by any means necessary. Now, I believe that we have to follow the rule of law, but one of the things that I will say is they're hell-bent on moving their agenda forward. I want to be a part of a Congress, a governing body that has a concrete trajectory of where we want to go, and we are ruthless about getting that trajectory. That means not paying for foreign wars, forever wars, colonializing the nation, the world, and returning to, again, some bit of decency, but also creating a new generation of folks who believe that we can actually be benevolent. We need to go back to that, and we need to expand. And I'm going to keep fighting. I'm new, but I'm ready, and I love a good street fight. So we're going to continue imminent.
I think ruthless for good is a good slogan for Democrats. We're ruthless, but for good. A couple last things here touch on. One is I saw Alameda Point Veterans Clinic that they were going to turn it into a VA healthcare facility. You mentioned our veterans before that they're struggling, and the Trump administration just said, nope, we're stopping. And what can you tell us about this? Because it wasn't making national headlines, but I know it's important to the area of your country where you are.
Well, it's not, it's, I believe, almost in a dozen other blue states. There are projects that the Trump administration just gutted, and it's unconscionable. You know, during Thanksgiving, I had the opportunity, I was visiting a church and they feed all of our veterans in Alameda, those who are homeless,
Mhm.
and sitting with these brothers. Many of them had fought in Vietnam, uh, and they're with their sleeping bags and in their wheelchairs. Um, those those brothers deserve to have a clinic that is close to them. They deserve housing. And when our veterans pass away, they deserve to have a burial that is dignified. That's not, again, 3 hours away in a car for their family to lie them to rest. The Trump administration ripped that project from our community. It's not only going to cost us jobs and an economic engine, it's going to cost people their lives. It's going to cost people their lives, and we're going to continue to fight back and lift this up. And it should be a national story. Folks should know that the Trump administration continues to betray its veterans, particularly its elder veterans who are in desperate need of consistent health care.
Yes, and I think you make a great point too that what they're doing with their cuts, it's a scalpel, and they're taking it to the blue states as if we're not the United States of America. That we are, and like we are, they're the Confederate States of America, and we're the United States of America, and we're an enemy. We are all the United States, we are all U.S. citizens, and the idea that they're going to cut. And one other thing I saw you speaking in your committee on Trump administration freezing millions of dollars for childcare subsidies in California and four other blue states. Can you touch on a little bit what the real world impact is going to be from this?
I don't think a lot of folks in here haven't had some of the experiences of the most needy people that they represent. And for a mother or a foster care family to lose their subsidized childcare because this dude over in the White House is playing politics of cruelty, it's unconscionable. This is the same party, remember, that says that they're pro-family. It's the same party that says that no matter what, you should have no control over your body. So you must have a child.
Mhm.
You have no access to abortion rights. So this is a president that's saying we're going to cut Medicare, Medicaid, and now your child care. I mean, it is just ridiculous, but we know who he is. So we need to stop being surprised every single day. I guarantee you what's coming out of the White House is racism, ableism, cruelty, homophobia, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia. And we just have to literally link arms in every way possible to fight back and maintain ourselves because this is just the beginning. There's 3.5 more years of this dude.
Oh boy, that's unfortunate that there is. By the way, there was good news though. The Democrats in the House, you led the charge to get the ACA subsidies, a clean bill, 3-year reinstatement. Even 17 Republicans join you. And are you, first of all, how did you get Republicans on board? And are you optimistic the Senate will pass some version of this?
Well, I got to give that to Leader Jeffries, right? Leader Jeffries has done a great job at rallying the Democrats to talk to our Republican friends. But here's the deal. The people of the United States of America made that happen because they're pissed and they're calling into congressional offices. They're visiting the district offices in red states. And these are Republicans and Democrats alike. Small business owners, they saw their rates triple to ensure their own folks. Folks are realizing with a stroke of the pen, folks here can determine how they spend their weeks and should they buy insulin or groceries or insure their employees or should everybody just use emergency rooms. The policies that are coming out of this building affect all Americans. So it's the American people, not just the Democrats, not just our leadership, and not just those handful of Republicans who stood up. It's the organizing that's been happening in communities that is shifting the narrative. And I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah, and polling showed overwhelming support for the idea of extending the subsidies. Very last thing I saw good news for you. You're now co-leader of the Democratic Women's Caucus Caregiving Task Force. And it has something to do with combining some of the work you did before getting in Congress. Can you share a little bit about what the Democratic Women's Caucus Caregiving Task Force does and why you're so happy to be co-chair?
Well, I'm
Co-lead?
excited to be co-chair of the caucus, the caregiving task
Right.
force, I should say. I'm in the women's caucus. There's a task force that is going to
Right.
be leading the charge on creating the legislative response from our party about how we need to lift up caregivers. The care economy keeps this nation alive. These are the folks who are family members of ill and disabled folks and elderly folks, and they're also our workers. They're our nurses. They're folks that are our MAs. They're the cancer nurse that you're depending on every single day. There are folks who are our aid workers who are working with our disabled children. The care economy creates really the safety net. It's not just the policy and the money, it's the people who crater and carry the folks we love the most. And, we need good wages for them. We need protections for them. Many of our caregivers are not unionized. They're hidden. And I come from a lineage of folks who took care of children. Listen, my family's from Arkansas and Louisiana. The caregivers in this country who created this country, unfortunately, were unpaid slave labor. So to create an economy where folks can actually flourish in caregiving jobs is something that I'm very excited about. But to do that, you got to really educate both sides of the aisle and have them understand that everyone will, in some ways, if we don't create a care economy that is just, will be impacted.
Very much so. And very last thing, since of your work in the disability community, how is the disabled community dealing with these coming cuts for Medicaid that are going to be I've had some experts on in the past and activists are going to be traumatic?
Listen, we're only a few decades from the passage of ADA. Our folks know how to fight. They're going to fight. Literally, you remember the images of folks crawling up the stairs of the Capitol. The organizations around the country vested in disability justice. They are ready, from the legislative fights, the organizing fights. They're, line step with my office and other offices. The Disability Caucus is bipartisan. I'm very, very excited to keep pushing that lens there. To the members of the House who are concerned with disability rights and access, we have to not only just speak up, but we have to vote and legislate with our conscience. And so I think it's devastating. It's terrifying. But again, we know who our president is. He is an ableist bigot, and his folks who are in line with him, they're just nodding on along the way. But Americans deserve better, and we just have to continue to fight and keep swinging.
And I love the point. We know who he is, and we know who we are. And we've been through a lot, all of us. And we get stronger by the day. So, Representative Simon, it's so great to chat with you. I appreciate you coming on monthly to chat with us about what's going on. I look forward to chatting with you next month. I keep up the good fight.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Slams.